Welcome, everyone. We're very glad you could join us today. My name is Laura Jones, and I'm the Northwest Regional Coordinator with the Indiana State Library's Professional Development Office. I will be the host and question moderator for today's webinar, Using Indiana State Library Digital Collections through Inspire, presented by Justin Clark, Public Historian and Digital Initiative Director at the Indiana Historical Bureau, a division of the State Library. After the webinar has been transcribed, it will be available on the Indiana State Library's archived webinars page. And if you're watching an archived recording of this presentation, information on how to obtain your TLEU is in the video's description in YouTube. For weekly updates on upcoming trainings and to learn more about what's happening in libraries across the state, please subscribe to the Indiana State Library's e-newsletter, The Wednesday Word, and check our continuing education website for other professional development opportunities. All right, let's get started. I am now happy to turn the presentation over to Justin Clark.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Because I'm on Wi-Fi here at the State Library, what I'm going to do is, because I'm going to be showing you guys a lot of stuff today, so it's not terribly important that you see my face. So I'm going to shut my video off so that hopefully there won't be any interruptions in the audio. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut my video off here. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Stop video. Okay, there we go. Now, can you all still hear me? Cool. Excellent. Fantastic. Just wanted to make sure because I didn't want it to break up because I've had this issue before when I gave a presentation, I think last month. So just wanted to do as best I can here. So Inspire. Inspire is this amazing service that we provide to the State Library. That is this wonderful, just like it's like part Google, part database of just all kinds of amazing resources. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how you can use our digital collections through Inspire. So with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and we are going to go to, actually, we're going to go to the web. Give me a quick second here. I'm going to try to get to where I need to be. There we go. Let's see. So Indiana Memory, for those who may not know, is our statewide digital repository for digital collections. It was launched in 2008, and it's our project that we collaborate with libraries across the state to provide materials to you, and we have a web portal for access. We have over 150 partners. Actually, the real number now I think is 162. Well over 500,000 items, hundreds of collections, and most of them are housed on Content DM, which is our content management system. But we also work with non-Content DM sources as well to harvest materials from all across the state for you to be able to use for research. This is the Indiana Memory homepage, which you can get to through Inspire. And then you can search, and we're going to do all of this in real time too. So, so you'll have faceted search results, sorting capability, and you can view the thumbnail, the title, description, and subjects. So when you search for something here, which is great. And then once you actually get through to a specific collection through Indiana Memory, this is what you'll get if you're within Content DM. So this is a great example of a single object. It's actually a compound object. I need to change this PowerPoint so that it's actually just one image. But then it'll pull up, you'll have the title. Content DM has changed recently where the actual image viewer is much better than it used to be. And I'll show you why here in a little bit. You can get a close up of the image here, and I'll kind of show you how this all works when we do the real-time stuff. But like I said, if the image viewer on Content DM is so much better than it used to be. Like in the old version of Content DM, you kind of had to go halfway down the page. And it was very hard to zoom in, and it just wasn't as user-friendly. And so they've really worked hard to make it more user-friendly for people. We're very happy with it. This is a compound object, which means it's more than one image. So it's a front and a back. This is a birth registration from our genealogy collection. So you can search the first image. You can also click on the second image and search within the object itself. Here's the metadata for it. So, like the title and and different subjects that might be related to it, the time period it comes from, and maybe a transcript if we have one. You can also search within the object itself. So as you can see, if you search railroads, not sure why my Indiana memory logos are here. So just ignore these little ghosts of Indiana memory logos here. But we have railroads. So if you, this is like a railroad episode of Hoosier History Live. So if you want to search railroads within the actual object itself, you can do that, which is excellent. The other resource that we have at the State Library is Hoosier State Chronicles, which you can also get to through Inspire. Hoosier State Chronicles was launched in 2011. It's a component of Chronicling America, which is the national digital newspaper program, which is a joint venture between the Library of Congress and between the Library of Congress and the National Endowment for the Humanities, which we've been a part of for many, many years now, 10 years. And we collaborate with libraries all across the state, like we do with Indiana Memory, to bring these wonderful newspaper resources to you. And of course, there's the web portal, which you can get to through Inspire. And I'll show you guys that in real time here in a minute. Give me a second here. So yeah, so HoosierStateChronicles.org, if you wanted to get to it directly. IndianaMemory.org is the website if you want to get to Indiana Memory directly. But today we're talking more about how to use Inspire. So we have nearly 1.2 million pages. It's actually, I think it's over 1.2 billion pages now since I've updated this presentation. And, nearly, like I said, nearly 300 titles. It's actually close to 300 titles now. Fully text searchable, keyword searchable and all of that, and downloadable. So you can download the pages, you can download JPEGs and PDFs. This is the Chronicling America website, which I'm also pretty sure you can get to through Inspire within the databases feature. And this is the sort of national project that we feed into. So we have about 1.2 million pages within Hoosier State Chronicles, but within Chronicling America, we have about 400,000 pages because those are the ones we've done with the Chronicling America project. So they have, well over 17 million pages from 1789 to 1963 from all 48 states. From 48 states, rather, Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. And I think they're working on the last couple of states to get stuff. One of them I know is a holdout in Chronicling America is Massachusetts, because they kind of have their own robust digital newspaper program independently of Chronicling America. But they're really working hard to get all 50 states. And that's chroniclingamerica.loc.gov is the URL for that. If you just type in Chronicling America on Google or Inspire, you'll get it. You should get it. So like with Indiana Memory, these are full text, word searchable and all that. So you have page search, which is like full text. You have directory search, which is down here. Directory search is incredible if you're looking for like really obscure newspaper titles that may not even be digitized, but you're just curious if like a library has them. That's an amazing database to see, oh my goodness, this local library has this edition of this particular local newspaper on microfilm, or may even have the original copies. So especially if stuff isn't digitized, that's another incredible incredible web tool that you can use. This is the Hoosier State Chronicles homepage, and we'll look at this more when we do my sort of real-time look through when we go through Inspire. Let's see. And again, it has faceted searching, so you can kind of search. If you're searching Hoosier, you can search within the text, you can search by publication, you can search by decade, you can search by tags. We'll talk more about tags in a minute. Here's some search tips. And especially for Hoosier State Chronicles, but for a lot of other stuff too. Using quotes to limit your results is a really excellent little shortcut, because sometimes if you just type in a name like Lou Wallace, right? If you don't put quotes around it, it's going to pull up everything that has the word Lou and everything that has the word Wallace in it. What this does is it makes sure that it pulls this as an exact phrase, and then it's a much better search result than you would get otherwise. And then always try variations of names too, as you may know. So like Lewis Wallace was his full name, or Stonebreaker, who was he was a basketball player. So different variations of the name, because sometimes newspapers would spell people's names wrong, or they would sort of approximate them. Or H.S. Lane using initials, that was very big in the 19th century, so you could do that too. Search by titles, so like General Wallace or Senator By, and then search by like proximity and so on. And this picture over here is always fascinating to me because it's the Terre Haute Tribune press room. But I think this guy right here, I have no idea who this is, but he looks a whole lot like the actor Mark Rylance, which I always think is kind of funny. We use crowdsourced optical character recognition software for Hoosier State Chronicles. So usually what happens when we digitize these papers is we do an optical character recognition software pass on everything. What that means is that this software goes through and basically reads every little character within a page and tries to figure out exactly what it is, and then gives you readable, searchable text. Now, as you can tell over here on the left-hand side, it doesn't look particularly good. Part of it's for a variety of reasons. These are very, very different fonts, which sometimes software has a hard time reading. You have bleed through from the page behind it, which also makes it difficult to do the character recognition because it's trying to pull this, but it's also trying to pull this, and it doesn't really know what it is. Because again, it's computer software, it's just an algorithm, it's not a person. But if you can create a free account on HoosierStateChronicles.org, all you just need to do is put in your username and password and then confirm your account by email. And you can actually go in and edit this text in real time. So you can go in and fix it for us and make it even better if you wanted to. This is an incredible opportunity for people who are looking to give a project to an intern, or giving a project to a student, or just something to do in spare time at the office when you're like, well, I've kind of finished up everything I need to do today and I kind of want to do something before I leave. Like, this is an opportunity to do something really fun. And it's very satisfying to go through, and then this becomes this, where it's nice and clear and clean. And the thing is, that's really great about going through and correcting this text is that it just makes the search experience within Hoosier State Chronicles even better. And it's something that you can totally do for free, no cost to you, and it's an amazing benefit to not just you as a researcher, but for Hoosier State Chronicles as a whole. And it certainly helps me out because then it makes our resource better, which, makes our overall initiatives look better too, and then really underscores the value that they provide to people here in the state. So you can save the pages as PDF, and you can arrange research in private lists if you have an account. And that's it for like the formal component. Now what I want to do is I want to take y'all to Inspire proper. So here is Inspire. I want to hide the meeting controls. There we go. Those meeting controls for a Zoom always get in my way when I can't see things. So here you go. So here's Inspire. So you can search things specifically here. And then the other thing that's important too is if you're a state resident, you can use Inspire very freely here on site at the state library. But if you're at home and you're doing research and you want to be able to have access, if you're having access or having issues, then you can create, and then you go to Inspire from home. And then you put in your account, your login in your username and your password, and then you create it being an Indiana resident. So as long as you're an Indiana resident, then you put this stuff in here, and then you'll have an account, and you confirm your account by email and so on and so forth. So that's how you do that if you're working from home. And but I'm working from the office today, so I'm just going to show you how it works through here. So yeah, like I said, you can search everything. We have databases. Let's go to this real quick. I want to see exactly what is delineated here in the databases. So I wonder if Chronicling America is here. Chronicling America is not here, but that's okay. You can always get to it by typing in chroniclingamerica.loc.gov and you can pull it up. That might be something that our staff can add to the databases so that people can search that too. I'll make that recommendation for them. Let's see. So you can get to Indiana Memory and Hoosier State Chronicles right here. So we're going to go to Indiana Memory first. And then it pulls up the Indiana Memory homepage. You can also get to Indiana Memory if you go to the homepage of Inspire. You can actually get to it from here as well. So it's here at the bottom. So we've got Hoosier State Chronicles, Indiana Memory. We're going to click on that, and it takes you right there. The one thing I like to do is I always like to keep my page. So I always right click and open it up in a new tab, just because I like to have my other page here. So here we go. We're on the home page of Indiana Memory. So you can you can just sort of broadly search the collections via Indiana if you want to. So we have stuff from all across the state. So you can search either here, or you can click on a county and it'll pull up specific things from the county. So the other little like sub collection we have within Indiana Memory is Wabash Valley Visions and Voices, which you can get to through this. And that takes you to the Wabash Valley Visions and Voices website that we manage. This was a project that was in the southern part of the state where it was kind of like an Indiana Memory, but for the southern part of the state. So you can research things here as well. The other resource that we have available, which I'm not sure is available through Inspire, I will check real quick, we will see, is the Digital Public Library of America, which is kind of like an Indiana Memory, but for the whole country, and it aggregates materials from all across the country. We feed into it as well. So DPLA is another amazing resource that you can use. And there are partners all across the country who use this, I think including the New York Public Library. So this is amazing. And I love using this kind of material. So yeah, you can get to that. I'm going to see real quick if, let's see. Yeah, Digital Public Library is not here either. But again, you can get to these two things from the Indiana Memory website. And the other thing too is you can also get the Hoosier State Chronicles through the Indiana Memory website by clicking on this Indiana Newspapers button. So even if Inspire doesn't necessarily have the exact database and the database is A to Z, if you go to Indiana Memory, you can get to all this other stuff from Indiana Memory. And so that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and search through and take a gander at what you can do with Indiana Memory. We're going to use my favorite example I always use, which is James Whitcomb Riley, the Hoosier poet. So always type in James Whitcomb Riley, and you'll see right away it starts pulling stuff up. And these are like titles of things, but we're just going to go with his name. And then you're going to get search results. You can also narrow the search. So if you're looking by specific subjects, you can also look by different collections that have been harvested by Indiana Memory, different repositories that house materials, the decades. And then all of the different search results are here. I'm going to take you to one of my favorite images that we have here at the State Library, which is a picture of James Whitcomb Riley with children. Children were a big part of his work and his life. And so I always love this picture of him with kids. So you have a thumbnail here, you have the title, and then it provides you some metadata like who created the picture, a little bit of a description. It's copyright status. This one's in copyright educational use permitted, subjects, where it was taken, so on and so forth. And then there are 3 different ways you can actually get to the original source. You can either click the thumbnail, you can click the actual source URL, or you can click down here at the bottom where you can look at the source. So there are 3 different ways you can click in through to the image. We're going to use the thumbnail. It's going to take you to a new tab, and it's going to pull up the image for you. In Content DM, this is what's known as a compound object because it has more than one image. It's got a front and a back. And then, like I said, the image viewer is really nice now. In old Content DM, this image used to be like halfway down the page. You kind of have to scroll down. It was a little bit harder to see. But now you can hit this little button here. You click on this, and then it pulls the image up to you and pulls up the whole screen of your computer. And then using your mouse, you can zoom in. And then it'll clear up for you. I love the fact that he's with the little kids here. And then he's got a little puppy. I just think this picture is really sweet. And this is towards the end of his life. I think he died within a couple of years after this photo was taken. So yeah, so you can view it. The other nice thing about Content DM now is you can also download the image. So if you like save image as, you can save the image too. It saves the whole thing. It doesn't like break it up into tiles like it did before. You can also download the image here. Some collections give you the option to download images or PDFs and some don't. It's based on the permissions of the collection itself. If there's a particular image that you're interested in that you cannot download yourself, you can always reach out to the repository or the institution that digitized it, which for us would be the State Library. But you can always look here in the repository field, okay, who digitized this? And you can kind of go from there. So, but yeah, pardon me, folks. But yeah, so like I said, it's an amazing resource here. And we love the new, like I said, we love the new content DM. You also have the metadata down here. And the metadata is much larger. It's a lot easier to read now than it was before. So like I said, we're generally pretty happy with how this all works. The other little thing you can get to through Content DM is online resources. So this is another web page you can go to that's awesome. So alongside Inspire, you can get to a lot of stuff via Inspire. You can also have a real-time chat. There's also online resources. So you can, so if you're on site, you can use Ancestry and so on and so forth. These are other materials you can also get to through, through Inspire. I'm pretty sure you can get to Ancestry or other materials here through Inspire. So yeah, so that's Content DM, and that is Indiana Memory. Like I said, if you want to go to Indiana Memory directly, go to indianamemory.org. I think they put it in the chat for you. So let's go ahead and go to Hoosier State Chronicles. Actually, I want to, do I go back? Okay, no, cool, we're good. So let's go to Hoosier State Chronicles here. Again, so now our actual total page count is 1,272,635 pages, which is pretty awesome. Nearly 145,000 issues. These all go from 1804 to about 2018. So you can search by titles, you can search by counties, and then you can do the overall search. We're going to do James Whitcomb Riley here too. You can also do an advanced search by hitting this little upside down triangle here, and it pulls up everything that you want to look for. So you can search through publications, full text, article headlines, comments, tags, text images, and then you can also limit your date range if you want. I'm not going to do any of that, but I am going to put the name in quotes to see what I get. So we get nearly 6,500 hits for James Whitcomb Riley, which is no surprise. He was a very prominent person. We're going to go to the first note. We're going to go to the first one here, which is an editorial comment in the Indianapolis News on the event of his death, which was in 1916. The photograph we saw was also from 1916, so it was within months of his death. And notice how we have full text here. And then on the side, you'll see this little tab, and you'll notice that some of the text here, some of it's been corrected, some of it has not been, but you can go in and correct it by creating a free account at HoosierStateChronicles.org. So I actually have an account, so I'm gonna go ahead and log in. And now I can log in and I can actually correct some of this text. So if I wanted to, I could go in, I could click on this, and you'll notice here, oh, it's already here on the side. This has been corrected. Then you can click on fields and it looks like this has already been corrected. Looks like somebody added like a period here for no reason. Oh, it seems because there's a dot in the page. So the software read it as a period. So we can just get rid of that. Notice down here at the bottom, this says mortal work. It says like mat work. We're going to correct that to say mortal work, period. Let's see, Riley. Only life. And you can just kind of go through and correct this text, which is immensely helpful. Death has, yeah, I tried to create it. It will bring, and misfound. Yeah, sometimes the text blocks are not as perfect as you would like them to be. I'm not gonna, and then once this has all been corrected, you can correctly complete. You can hit save, and next you can go through and fix more things if you wanted to. But that's a really cool feature that we have. Another thing you can do by having an account is you can also use the tags feature. So you can, if you're doing particular research on something, you can do a bunch of different tags. A while back, I did resources. I did some research on the Reno gang, and I pulled up some stuff here. There should be more. Oh, Reno gang. That's a misspelling. Reno gang. There we go. That's what I want. And so a lot of times in these articles, I won't actually tell you that it's the Reno gang, but based on my own research, I know it's the Reno gang because a lot of times they were bank robbers and they were train robbers. So you can search by the specific dates that you know that they robbed something, and then you can tag them and it's all Reno gang here. When I did work on the Reno gang. And you can do that with anything. I think James Wickham Riley may have his own too. Let me check real quick.
Hey,
Yep,
Justin, we do have a question that will actually be better answered right now.
Yeah, what's up?
Someone wants to know, can you adjust the text blocks to encompass more text?
Unfortunately, no. So the reason we can't do that is because the fields themselves are generated by software and they cannot be corrected within the website. They would have to be corrected by us internally. It's kind of a bummer. It's one of the limitations of OCR software. But what you can do if you run into any particular issues, if you're correcting text and you really don't know how to do it, or you're like, man, I don't know how I can make this work within the field that I've been given, email me and I'll provide you with a suggestion. Because sometimes we'll have fields that will go across articles, which they're not really supposed to do, and things like that. Because again, they're computer generated. And so it's too cost prohibitive to pull them off the website and then manually go in and fix those fields and then re-upload it. So we just kind of work with what we have. So unfortunately, we can't fix the fields, but you can fix the text to the best of your ability within the fields they have. So it's a little bit of a bummer. It's a little bit of a limitation of Hoosier State Chronicles, but we work around it. So yeah, James Whitcomb Riley has his own tag. It looks like a person's only done one article, but you could do literally thousands and have them all there based on this. This is an amazing resource for those who are doing genealogy research or local history research, because you can then tag everything by a particular family member or a particular individual related to your local history research, and then pull all those articles up later because you've all saved them. Think of it as kind of an internal bookmark through Hoosier State Chronicles that's through your account. The one thing I'm not sure if Inspire has is the Indiana State Library digital collections page, which you can get to everything within that page via Indiana Memory, but I'll go ahead and show it to you guys anyway. So let's see, digital, I'm trying to remember digital collections. It's digital collections.library.in.gov. So this is kind of a subset of materials that are in Indiana Memory. This is the stuff that we've digitized internally here at the State Library. And so you can get to specific things that we've done internally here on this website, digitalcollections.library.in.gov. And again, all of this stuff that you can see on this website is available through Indiana Memory, and you can get to it through Indiana Memory. This is just another way of being able to narrow your research. So if you just wanted to see stuff from the State Library, you could do that. You can also do that on Indiana Memory as well, and I'll show you how. So if you wanted to just see stuff from a particular institution, you'd go up to contributors. This is, and then you scroll down and you get to the Indiana State Library, and it's going to pull up all of our stuff. So you can also get to it a couple different ways. And I'm using a remote access from my work computer, so I apologize if the image is a little blurry. But yeah, so you can get to it a couple different ways. The lovely thing about the collections that we all have here at the library is that there are a variety of different ways to get to them, and there's a variety of different ways to use them. So there's not one way of getting to stuff. There's not one way of using it, which is really, really helpful for researchers. So we've talked about Indiana Memory. We've talked about Hoosier State Chronicles. We've talked about the Indiana State Library digital collections and all kinds of other fun stuff. The last thing we're going to talk about is a really amazing resource that I think gets kind of slept on, and it's something we're really proud of having, which is our partnership with newspapers.com. This note is here on the website right now because we were having a little bit of a technical issue, but I'm pretty sure the technical issue is now resolved. So this note will eventually go away. But if you click on the newspapers.com logo here at the bottom of the page, it's going to take you to another subpage within Inspire that has all the digital collections kind of delineated out. And then you'll see here, you have the Hoosier State Chronicles logo. If you click on this logo, it'll take you to Hoosier State Chronicles. But if you click down here to search additional Indiana newspapers and newspapers.com, you click this. And when you click this, it'll take you through and, see, it's not working today. See, this has been a continued problem we had. It was actually working yesterday. But what it should do when you click this link is it should actually provide you for free without a newspapers.com paid account a variety of different, like 1.8 million pages of Indiana newspapers that we've partnered with them on. And so you can get to those via a link. Now we are experiencing, it looks like, I guess, unfortunately, we're still continuing to experience technical issues with this, but we'll kind of work through them. But when this is working, you can actually get to those titles. And that's another 1.8 million pages that you can view of Indiana newspapers that are not available on Hoosier State Chronicles. And so, yeah. And if you have any like issues with the newspapers.com feature, you can always reach out to me by my email. Hopefully they'll put it in the chat for you. I think it's Jess Clark at library.in.gov. And just kind of let me know if you're having issues. And if there's something like you particularly need for research and you can't get to it through the portal, email me and I'll be able to help you out, because this is supposed to be a resource that's supposed to be available for you. And if it's not, then we'll kind of go from there. So long story short, the Indiana State Library provides an incredible amount of wonderful historical resources to you just with the digital collections alone. We haven't even talked about literally 90% of what else is on Inspire, like whether it's Rosetta Stone or current news, the genealogy component, which is Indiana Legacy. I'll show you guys this real quick. So you can search things like anniversary, biography, birth records, death records, newspaper records. This is searching here for newspapers. If you're interested, like let's say you're doing research on Hoosier State Chronicles, you realize, oh, there's a title I need and it's not available there. Like it might be available on microfilm. You can search in our newspapers for microfilm and look there too and see if there's something on microfilm that you can review and then come to the state library to look at, or to see if a local library has, and we can always help you with that too. So that's another awesome resource. And yeah, I mean, I think Inspire is something that we really want more and more people to use, because it's a wonderful resource that has everything just right there for you. So with that in mind, I will open it up for questions.
Okay, thank you, Justin. If you have a question, feel free to type that in the chat. You can get that to Justin to answer.
Yeah, no problem. And I will switch now to my face. Hold on. I'm trying to, I always have a tricky time with the old Zoom. Let's see. I want to stop my share, but yeah. Hold on. Stop share. There we go. That's what I wanted. Fantastic. And I'll turn my camera back on. I see someone put in there referring to the part that I had. It should be a mortal work according to the text. I totally agree with you. The reason I just wrote mortal is because that's the part that was in the text block itself. So that little IM that's a part of immortal was probably in another text box. And so you don't want to put it twice, because then it will become immortal, unfortunately, because of the way the text blocks are laid out. So yes, you're totally right. But I did it the way I did it because it was within the bounds of the actual box itself. Again, it's one of the unfortunate limitations of auto-generated OCR.
Looks like Kimberly asked if you could go back to tell us where to sign up to help the OCR records.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to do that. Let me pull up the website and we can do no problem. A quick second. Let me share my screen again. Chronicles. Hold on, I think I might have cut out there. Sorry about that, guys. Again, I'm on Wi-Fi here. My work computer that's actually connected to a broadband line doesn't have a webcam, so I have to use my computer, my laptop. So you go up here to the upper right-hand corner, you'll see register and login. So you go to register. Once you click register, email address, You put your first name, your last name, what you want your display name to be, and then a password, and you'll hit register. Then you'll be sent an email to confirm your account, and then you'll confirm your account, and then you'll be in. And then once you do that, then you log in, and then you'll click log in. You'll put your username and password in, you'll click log in. And there you go. We're just going to go ahead and click on the featured image today to show you how to get in and actually start using how to change the text. So you'll go in, you'll click on page 1 here on the side. And it's going to pull in, it's going to show you. So it's going to say why this may contain mistakes. So it'll explain to you what I told you guys about, sort of how it's auto-generated. And then there's a little link that says correct this text. You'll click on that. And then you're going to want to select an area of the issue to correct its text. So you'll see here, these little areas will start lighting up. So we're going to click on this one right here. When you do that, it's going to pull this up over here. Now, this is really nice, clean text. So most of this is going to look pretty good. Now, because that S is so inked out, it ended up putting an asterisk there. So we're going to clear that out. We'll put an S. And then it should say things, let's see what that says there. I think it says move instead of more. So we're going to change more to move. So again, it's just these subtle things. Now this is really solid OCR text, as you can tell. Very, very good. It's nice, clean. And you will experience this as you're working with correcting text, is that some newspapers are going to, wow, these look great. Like not only does the text look good, but the fields look great. And other ones you're going to look at aren't going to be so nice, unfortunately. So, but these look pretty darn good. So you've got the situation at the cannery this week. In short, the doubting Thomases have all taken to the woods at this time as concerns the success of the new institution. It is capitalized institution here in the OCR. I'm going to change that to a lowercase. During the drought, it got out that, I don't know if that's a typo or if drought is a real word. I don't know if I've ever heard the word drought before. If you know what that word is, throw the definition in the chat because I have no idea what that word is, but the OCR caught it perfectly, so we're going to keep it as is. That's the other thing too. That's really important when you're going through and you're correcting text, that if you see a typo and you know it's a typo, don't fix it. So like just put in the text what you see. Don't correct it. So yeah. So that's how you go in. And then when you're done cleaning up a field, you hit save. And if you wanted to hit save and then go to another field, then you can hit save and next. And then it will take you to another field automatically. This one looks good. And then if you've completely corrected it, the text block is completely correct, then you click yes, and then you hit save and next or save and exit. And make sure you save your work as you go. That's super important. That way you don't lose what you did. So that's how you log in, you create an account, and you can edit the text. There's also I think an article I wrote maybe last year, a year before, about how to do all of this on our blog, which you can get to through the Hoosier State Chronicles website. There's a blog link, but I'll throw the actual URL in the chat real quick. blog.newspapers.in. So
We do have a couple of questions that came in. One of them, I'm going to skip the first one because you're talking about the OCR text. Someone wants to know, what is the purpose or reason for editing the OCR text?
that's a great question. So that your search results are better. So the reason you want to correct that stuff is because, and you don't have to, I'm just saying it's a feature of the website. If you don't want to, if you just want to use the website, just do research, that's totally fine. But if you wanted to correct text, the reason that we do it is because it just makes better and better search results. There are going to be names that are going to be more easily found. There's going to be subjects that are going to be more easily found, and specific phrases that are more easily found. So let's say, for example, you're trying to look for like, maybe a relative of yours published a poem in a local paper or some article in a local paper, and you know a phrase from that article or that poem, but you don't know the whole thing. You could type that whole string of text in and it will pop right up because the OCR text is so good that it's a one-to-one match rather than having to play around with like garbled text, which unfortunately happens. But yes, it just creates better and better search results, and it makes researching on the website easier for users.
Okay, another question, if a person has photos that would be appropriate for Indiana memory, how do they send them to be added to the website?
Good question. So what I would say is, and I was actually reached out by a gentleman this week about doing this exact thing. Generally, what we prefer you to do is work with your local library. And the reason for that is because we like to have an institutional partner for the material that we're doing. We don't tend to take individual stuff. Generally, what we do is we tend to work with libraries who then facilitate the images that someone may want to donate. So that would be my suggestion, would be to work with a local library in order to see if they have a collection that already in Indiana memory that would be applicable for the images that you wish to donate, and then kind of go from there. So yeah, work with your local institutions as best as you can. And then in other specific situations where that's not possible, we sort of work out a special arrangement, and we might be able to get it in otherwise. But yeah, first things first, always contact your local library and see if they can help you facilitate a partnership with us.
Okay, thank you for that. If anyone has any more questions, feel free to type those in the chat here. And Justin's email has been put in the chat as well. So if you need to get a hold of him, feel free to do that.
I'll put my video back on.
Okay, I'm going to put the form for the requesting the TLEU in the chat here. And then as a reminder, if you're watching this as an archived recording, information on how to get your TLEU is in the video's description on YouTube. And we can go ahead and stop recording.